All right, everyone. It looks like there's probably 6 or 7 folks joining us on the GoToMeeting call. So welcome to our second class meeting. I wanted to just take a couple of minutes to go through the agenda and go through a couple of review items with all of you, and then I will turn it over to our presenters for the day. So just a couple of reminders. The deadline for all of Unit 1, but Module 3 specifically, is tonight at 11:59 p.m. So if you haven't finished modules 1 and 2, today is the last day to submit any late work from those 2 modules, and then all of Module 3 work is due by midnight tonight. Module 3 included an informational interview email where you actually need to draft an email to somebody that you're interested in interviewing about their career. And you're going to actually have to conduct that interview in Unit 5. So make sure that the email gets sent and that you follow up with them about times that you're going to be able to meet before Unit 5 work is due. You also need to come up with a time management plan, and we're going to go over that rubric in just a second. And then you need to finish your learning journal number 1. And there will be a journal in each unit, so this is good practice for you to get used to what that piece of reflection feels like. So beyond going over those items, which we'll do in just a second, we'll have a student panel today. There's going to be 10 collaborative questions. So our student panel is made up of 3 students. They're going to answer 10 different questions about their time here at WCC. And while they're talking, I want you guys to think about some questions that you can type in the chat box when they're done to ask them. So because you're here attending the live session, instead of coming up with questions for the alternative assignment, you're going to come up with them live today. So make sure you have questions ready to go that you can type in the chat box that they can answer when they're done answering their 10 questions. So just to quickly review your time management plan, this is the rubric in terms of how you'll get those 9 points. So those of you who've already completed it, you may have seen a grade. If you got 9, you got 100%. If you got anything less than 9, make sure that you go back and revisit the rubric and my comments so that you can see exactly what's missing. So in order to get 3 points for the schedule piece, you needed to have all of your classes, work, and other life events reflected on your time management tool. So for example, if you selected a Google Calendar, I would need to see those items reflected for an entire week on that calendar. Same thing with deadlines. So you already have deadlines assigned for this class, so you should at the very least have those reflected on the calendar and any other courses that you have assignments with deadlines in over the next week. And then the last piece is the prioritization piece of the rubric. And so you need to have a weekly or daily list present in terms of order of priority of to-do, like tasks that need to get done, and they need to be in order of priority. So for example, you might have on that list that you need to pay a bill or car insurance, and maybe that's due this week. And then other items of priority might be below that in terms of things that could wait a little bit longer or aren't as urgent. And then the first journal that you had due, you need to reflect on your learning preferences by identifying your strengths and weaknesses or areas of growth and how this knowledge will affect your life. So to get full points, you needed to identify 3 personal strengths and discuss how they affect your life, and identify 3 personal weaknesses or areas of growth and discuss how those affect your life. So you need to specifically recognize when you're off course academically and make positive course corrections. So another piece of that was to list and discuss 3 barriers to your success and reflect on what resources are available at WCC to ensure your personal and academic success. This also includes identifying 3 WCC resources to help you make positive course corrections and explain how they will help ensure your personal and academic success in the future. And then the last piece of journal number 1 is that you needed to summarize how your participation in this unit or collaborative and interactive activities helped you connect to WCC resources, both online or physical resources, access to professionals and experts, and build a personal connection to WCC. So to get into detail about that, you need to describe 3 class experiences that you participated in this unit. That could have been sort of a live session like we're doing now from a week ago. It could have been activities that you completed. This reflection would count, guest speakers that you connected with, or even just emailing back and forth with me. You need to explain how each of those 3 experiences helped you to build a personal connection, access experts, and or build a personal connection to WCC. And then finally, you need to speculate on how these outcomes will help you in the future as a person, student, and professional, because that's the entire goal of this course. So that is just a brief overview of journal number 1, and you have again until midnight tonight to complete that. So we're going to transition now to our student panel. So I'm going to ask them to come up front, and you'll be able to see them on the webcam, and they'll be able to answer some questions for all of you. So you guys want to step in front of, make sure that you can be seen. And would you guys mind to go ahead and just introduce yourself, tell them sort of your connection to WCC, and then you can dive right into the questions on the PowerPoint.
Well, hi, my name is Sean Morris. I work with Washington Community College Sports.
And my name is Pavel. I'm a WCC student ambassador, and I do orientation.
Hi, my name is Paul. I am also a student ambassador, and we are all students here. I'm studying business management.
So we just
Go ahead and click on the screen,
okay, perfect.
and then you won't see yourselves, but they'll see you.
I'll start off. So our first question is, what do you think it takes to be successful at WCC? Personally, what I learned from my football coach in high school is that there's 2 things you got to do to be successful no matter where you go. Number 1 is to show up. So you just got to prepare yourself mentally, be on time to where you ever go, whether it's a classroom on site or even online. Prepare yourself to be ready. And then number 2 is give it your best, give it your all, whether you're studying or networking and building relationships. Those 2 things can take you a long way.
I would have to say it's, for me at least, is coming to class and to WCC ready to learn. If I'm not in the mindset of, I came here to learn, then I'm just not going to be successful and not learn anything within the class.
For me, I would say it all starts with goals. Just have to set up goals for your semester and make sure you work toward those goals. And also stay organized. In case you're struggling, you have a lot of resources here on campus. Make sure you reach out to people who may help you in those situations.
Go ahead and start.
So what challenges have you overcome to be successful at WCC? So just a little story behind me is I'm from Congo. I came here 2 years ago, so I didn't know how the system worked here at WCC. So that means I had a lot of challenges. I had to figure out where to go, how to reach out to instructors, how to understand what GPA means, how other stuff. So that was a little bit all the challenges I had to overcome, and also had a thicker accent. So I had to be able to express myself and reach out to people here at WCC. So it was the whole thing.
And when I started at WCC, I had a lot of trouble, reaching out to instructors if I needed help, and then also seeking tutoring. So I tried to struggle, through the classes myself, which I quickly found out didn't work at all. And then once I started, getting as much help as I needed, I started succeeding.
I would say a challenge that I had at Washington Community College was commuting, because I live about half an hour north of Ann Arbor. So I was able to overcome that just on taking online classes. So between work and class and playing basketball here, I'm able to only come here 3 days a week, which saves a lot of miles and gas on my car. Go ahead.
And so the question is, what career are you pursuing? I'm going into engineering, and I'm planning on transferring, whether it's to U of M or some other school. And specific engineering is electrical engineering.
I'm studying business management. My goal is to start my own business, in the long term. I still don't know what kind of business I want to start in, but at least I want to be an entrepreneur and start my own thing, and I'm still working on it.
I am going to pursue sports management at Grand Valley State University, where one day I dream to be an athletic director, whether it's at the high school or collegiate level or even recreational. I just want to work with sports.
How did you choose that career? There's something, since I was a child, I've always had a passion for business and economy, all those things. So I grew up with that. I also currently there is the economic situation in my country is a bit sad. So I'd like to help out in some way in my whole life.
And I also kind of had an idea of where I wanted to go. Early on, I've always been good with building stuff and making new things, and I found that I could use that skill in engineering the best.
Yeah, I feel that sports, I want to pursue sports in my career just because I've always been a part of athletics my entire life, and it's still am to this day and planning to be for the rest of my life. And I feel that, especially with students, athletics play a big part in keeping kids on track with academics and, going through challenges and just building character. And I just want to be a big part of that.
What resources would you recommend or have you used at WCC? There's a lot of resources at WCC. I would like to point out, let's talk about the Math and Science Tutoring Center. They offer like free tutoring math and science classes. I remember 2 semesters ago I was taking accounting, and I was struggling a little bit. We had those finals coming up, and I just went there and I met like students who really helped me out. And at the end of the semester, I got an A. So it's free and open to students. I always recommend it to students when I do orientations. Very useful.
And definitely tutoring for me. It's a really good resource on campus, free of course, and really helped me succeed.
I would say academic advising has been my greatest resource on campus just because they've been able to keep me on track of what credits I need to take and to be degree seeking. So I'm not taking any courses that won't be relevant to my degree, so I'm not wasting time or money.
What tips do you have for working with faculty and other students? The first thing is I want to tell students to introduce themselves to the instructors just to make sure you have that connection with your instructors, and make sure you reach out whenever you have issues. Like in my own experience, my instructors have already been nice and friendly with me, so that makes it really easy for students to reach out to instructors. Just whenever you have issues, show up to the office and talk to them, and just keep that connection with them, basically.
Yeah, definitely. So I would suggest just seeking as much help as you can from faculty and of course students, whether they're like in your class. All my instructors have been willing to help me for all my semesters on campus, and they've helped me a lot, whether it's in class or writing letters of rec, and they've always been very open about that and helping me.
I would say with faculty, it's extremely important to network with them and build relationships, just because networking is such an important part when it comes to pursuing a career. And faculty, they're here to help you. So just try to take advantage of it in any way possible, and they'll be glad to see you reach out, I promise.
What meaningful experiences have you had at WCC? I would say my job, because I work on campus as a student ambassador, for almost 2 years each now, and I've had the opportunity to work with tons of students. Sometimes I have students coming in being stressful, and then just give them hope and introduce them to different resources here so they can be as much successful as possible. So it's just my job. I love it, and I really like having students.
I would also have to say my job, in part for helping me meet new people like Paul, and also helping me be more outgoing. And when I first started here and before I had this job, if I had to do something like this, I would probably call in sick and say I couldn't do it. But now it's fun to come here and share my experience.
Yeah, I'd say a meaningful experience I've had here was joining the club basketball team. Since I've been able to do that, I've been able to compete at a very high level. And of course, I'm building relationships with my teammates and my coach as well. My coach is planning to help me network with other coaches in the area and within and out of the state. And also, I've been able to build relationships with my teammates where I'm making new friendships. And a player that I had on my team last year is now one of my best friends. And I always spend dinner with their family and stuff. And it's just building relationships that will last a long time. And that's the greatest part about it.
What do you wish someone would have told you about how to be successful at WCC? This is a good question. I just like as I said when I came here like 2 years ago, I didn't know like all the resources like on here. So my first semester was a little bit harder because I didn't know like about the math and science teaching center. I didn't know it was free and open to students. So I had to do everything by myself. I had to learn about like everything here on campus. So I just wish someone told me about all the free resources here on campus, like the computer commons. It's free and with like over 200 computers. So all the things I was a little bit like ignorant about it. So I just wish someone told me about it.
I wish I would have known how outgoing the teachers were and that they really want you to succeed versus like other schools where it's really cutthroat between students and even between teachers and students. But here at WCC, I've never run into something like that and have always just run into teachers that want to help me out.
I would say I wish, especially before I came to Washtenaw, I wish I knew about the 3+1 programs that you can pursue, like at Eastern and Davenport and other programs, where you can take 3 years worth of community college credits that are cheaper and then transfer it into that 1 year left to get your bachelor's for the university cost. I've always wished I kind of known that because that'd be a very cheaper route to go. However, I didn't really know about that. I didn't plan to pursue that anyway, but I think a lot of people could take advantage of that, and it could really help somebody with their academics. So it's the chat box.
So they started typing questions. So there's the first one there, and they can see that question on the screen. So
Okay.
do you guys see the one from Arthur?
Yeah. So Arthur, you asked what would be your best environment for studying. Personally, I think studying with other people is always great because not only are you expanding your own knowledge, but you're expanding theirs, and you might have different thoughts on things. So you can share those ideas that can really expand the material that you know from both of you, and it's just a win-win situation.
Yeah, I would just to add to what you said, we also have like a few locations here on campus which are really convenient where you can study. We have the library. We have about like 8 study rooms you can check out and like study in there. You need just a partner with you. We also have like a very convenient place and quiet place in the library downstairs. So these are some spots on campus you can just like use and study there.
I would also have to say studying with a group is most beneficial to me. Sometimes it's not so much like how much you know within the class, but it could be like a thought process and seeing how other students, work through problems. And when they give their input, that's really helped me like work through problems and work through material that I have had to learn.
So it says, Paul, as a student from Congo, were you able to connect with other international students easily? I am asking because I am from Cameroon.
Oh, nice. Yes, because we didn't really talk about like student clubs. WCS has about like 45 student clubs, and we also have like International Student Association, which is like for all international students here. So when I came, that's the first thing I asked, and I joined the club, and I get to meet people from like all over the world, not only like from Africa, also Europe, South America, and that really makes my time here that easier. I found WCC has like a second home away from home because I've met so many people here. So yes, I was really like yes.
So here we'll go back up here. Yeah, I think there's even some more that we might be able to scroll up to.
Okay.
So Vanessa, you've asked some examples on studying or staying organized with online classes. Me personally, out of the 4 classes I'm taking, 3 of them are online. So I'd really recommend printing out your schedule and having it in front of you at all times, and maybe even checking off and taking notes on what you've completed and what you need to do and the due dates, maybe even inputting those into your calendar. And me personally, I'm a go-getter, so I'm ahead in all my online classes just because, when the weekend comes and I have to work and, I'm seeing my friends and stuff and relaxing, I'm able to enjoy that because I'm ahead and I don't get fall back. And that's the easiest thing in online classes is to get fall behind, and you do not want to do that. So
One thing I can say is just to basically to stay organized and know your study habits and make sure, as you said, not to fall behind the deadlines. It's about the deadlines. You can use a planner or Google Calendar, whatever it works for you. just find a way that works for you in order for you to keep up with the deadlines, basically, because you're supposed to learn on your own and just stay organized, basically.
I would recommend checking email every single day, especially for the online class.
Absolutely.
And for me, I took an online class, and it was my first online class, and it didn't feel like the class had started, even though we were a week into the class, because I never had to come to campus. The class was just online, didn't open up my laptop. And then I opened up the laptop and went into my email the second week, and I was behind on like a few assignments. So that really made me, stay on top of things.
So Mary, you asked what is exciting about going to WCC? I feel the most exciting part about it is that it's the start of pursuing your dream. So if you have a dream of whatever career you want to pursue or whatever you want to do, like in your life, and having a degree is the start of that. Coming here and getting your gen eds done and your associates at such a cheap rate. I mean, that excites me, just to get up and get going and to start your dream. And this is where you get your foot in the door.
I think you said exactly what I had in my mind. Another thing is, I want to just use simple words, is you're spending less and you're getting the same education you get like at Eastern, because you have instructors who teach at like other public universities on here. And like my communication instructors for last semester, she was teaching communication here and in Eastern as well. And she told us she teaches actually the same thing, and the advantage is we have smaller class size rooms, and also we're spending less on that. So that's really exciting because you're getting the same education or just spending less.
For me, what's exciting is, academics aside, and also besides the more affordable tuition, it's networking and meeting teachers that work at other colleges and that can help you out, whether it's like a letter of rec. A few of my teachers wrote me a letter of rec that really helped me get into a few colleges. And even after I graduate, I'm going to be coming back, asking them for help and if I need anything.
Thanks, Vanessa. Yeah, just thank you for the comment. Do any of you guys have a part-time job out of school? If so, how do you deal with stressful situations? So me, I do work an additional part-time job. I'm working 2 jobs. I work for a recreational facility in Brighton, Michigan. And I'm not gonna lie, I love what I do. I work with sports and kids. I officiate and coach and supervise all their leagues and coordinate and schedule. And I'm dealing with sports, so I'm not gonna lie, I don't really get stressed just because I love what I do. I show up every day to work, but I'm not actually working. But when it does come to slight situations, especially with parents and stuff, I'm always asking myself like why I'm here and why I'm doing this. And it's just all about self-talking and getting yourself through it, because you're here for a reason. So yeah, I would say that's the case.
I do not have like a job off campus, but I know sometimes it can be stressful. We have resources on campus. We do personal counseling. You can sit down with a counselor, and they can help you with that and plan your time. Also, they do like some stress relief, like activities. So that's another resource you can use in case you're going over some challenges.
Since we have basically the same job, you kind of took mine. But what helps me is always like, communicating with my boss, whether it's something with like scheduling or if something comes up, whatever it may be, just reaching out to my boss and, communicating what's happening and what my view of things.
So I don't know if there's any more down here. Oh, there is. What has been your best experience in taking classes at WCC? I would say throughout, when it comes to classes, it's been a lot different in high school because you're definitely learning on more of an independent level. But I feel like I've been able to experience developing my listening skills and engaging myself into the material that we're learning better. I've definitely been able to do that ever since I've stepped into like the college world, especially here at Washington.
Personally, I would say I've been able to develop my interpersonal skills because I've taken some communication classes and I'm also in the business program. So we do a lot of like team work. And so even what I'm doing now, like 2 years ago, I wasn't able to do it, but now I'm able like to stand in front of people, like talking. So I've really like overcome like my like introvert myself and to talk to people comfortably.
For me, I would have to say it's all the electives that we have here. So not so much like taking classes, but a class. So I was in a video program, and it was in the middle, or the video program when the time that I was in it. It was during the same semester of a few hard classes, and that was, you know, going there, making short films with awesome students in the class, and working with the instructor. That really helped, you know, ease the stress of the other classes.
You guys are asking great questions.
That's the last one.
Okay, so Michelle, you ask, in a general statement, what advice recommendations would you give us?
Just overall advice.
Overall advice. I mean, like I said, just show up and give it your. This is quite an opportunity to be here, and all the opportunities that Washington provides, they're there. I promise you, they're there. It's just whether you initiate the steps to take the opportunity that I promise will take you a long way in your life.
I would say have goals and make sure you work toward those goals, and don't think you'll be able to do everything by yourself. It's not always easy. That's why we have people on campus to help us. Whenever you're struggling, reach out. People will be able to help you out.
Use all the resources that we have on campus, whether it's like tutoring, talking to advisors, just anything. Just know when you need help, and don't be afraid to go and ask for help.
So just want to say thank you to you guys for coming. So those of you who are on the live call, we'll get back together in like 60 seconds. I just want to give these guys a chance to take off so that they don't have to sit through the rest of our class with us. But I hope that you guys learned a lot from asking questions and from getting answers from them, and really appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys check your email later today. I just want to send you like a small thank you gift. So yeah, just don't delete it.
Okay.
Thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. Have a good rest of the day. All right, guys, so we're gonna continue on just for a little bit longer. You guys asked excellent questions of the panel, and I really appreciate the larger number of you attending this week in person, and also the interactivity with our guest panel. I think it's really nice to speak to students who are in your shoes right now and hear what advice they have. I think it's just a different perspective and a way for you all to hear what maybe has and hasn't worked for students in the past. So we're going to continue on. If you are, again, for the folks who are on the live call, just bear with me for 1 second. If you are doing the alternative assignment, you'll see these questions that you're going to need to complete later. So if you're listening to this recording, you will need to pause your recording, and I'll post the PowerPoint as well, so you can go to the slide, and you'll need to actually answer each one of these questions because you weren't able to attend the live meeting. So you'll need to answer these instead. So I just want to talk a little bit about previewing learning unit number 2. But before I do that, there's a couple of things that came up that a lot of you emailed about this week that I just want to talk about in our course. So if you are attending the live meeting, this may or may not be applicable to you. If you can't attend a meeting in the future, you'll want to know about this too. So it's good for everyone to know this. A lot of folks emailed me and asked where they can find the recorded live sessions in case you want to revisit any material that we talked about, or in case you're sick or you had to work or something came up and you couldn't attend the live meeting. So I've clicked into learning units, and then I clicked into unit 1 and into module 1. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of this page where it says online meeting reminder. And this online meeting reminder link is going to appear in every single week that we have a live meeting. So you'll see this link pop up again and again. It's the same link. It just pops up when we're about to have an online meeting. So it's a quick reminder for you to know that, oh, I need to join the online meeting this week. When I click into that link, I see the link to join the meeting, but I also see this folder called Recorded Go-To Meeting Sessions. If I click on that, I can see last week's session. And I know the sound didn't work last week, but we've got all of that fixed. So this week you'll see another video and it will say recorded class meeting January 17th, 2018. So each week you'll see a new video added to this folder, and that's how you get to the recorded GoToMeeting sessions. If you want to rewatch something, if you have a question, or if you couldn't join us for the live session. So let's do a really quick review. Unit 1 was made up of 3 modules. It started a week ago when we had this live session. You had some assignments due that Wednesday night. You had more assignments due Sunday night. And then for Module 3, we're going to wrap up all of Unit 1 with the assignments that are due tonight at 11:59 p.m. Your deadlines are always going to be Wednesdays at midnight, Sundays at midnight. Wednesdays at midnight, Sundays at midnight. So it's really important to get into that flow of things so that you can stay on track. I know this was the first week of class and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but by midnight tonight, I really expect that after 3 modules, we're on track for getting things turned in on time. And on that note, if you do complete an assignment late, it will show up as a 0 in the grade book until you've attempted it, and then I have to go in and override that grade. So I know some of you have emailed me and said, hey, I can't see in the grade book yet my grade for the assignment, even though I completed it. It's because if it was completed late, I have to go back in and override that grade, and I promise you I will get to it. So by now we should have completed modules 1, 2, and you should be working in module 3. So just a really quick reminder, those of you who are participating in the online meeting, you will get your full 25 points for participation. Those of you that could not join us and are listening to this recorded, you need to complete the alternative assignment. You also have a video quiz to complete, journal number 1, and then this time management planning for Unit 2, and then completing an informational interview email. You need to complete all of those assignments before moving on to Unit 2. We're going to quickly preview Unit 2 together. So in Unit 2, there are only 2 modules, okay? So you have a deadline on Sunday and a deadline next Wednesday, and then we'll join again together for a live meeting. In module number 1 within Learning Unit 2, you're going to complete 3 inventories in a career cruising software. And then you're going to complete 3 career worksheets based upon the results from that career cruising activity. To find career cruising, you're going to go to My WCC, Student Services, and Career Guidance. And this is all outlined in the course, which I'll go back to in just a second. So that's a preview of module number 1. We will meet again before module number 2 is due, but I can just quickly walk you through it. So module number 1, you're going to watch the career selection video. You're going to watch a how-to, for how to use this career cruising tutorial video. I'd really encourage you to watch that first so that once you get to the career cruising software, you're not confused about what's going on. Then you will click onto this link and you'll complete 3 inventories in career cruising. So you'll see that you're going to follow the directions for how to get to the career cruising website, complete those inventories, and then make sure that you save your results so that you can then complete the 3 career cruising worksheets that go with this software. Module number 2 has to do with motivation and goals. So you heard the student panel talk about having goals. In module number 2 of Unit 2, we're going to think a lot about what our future goals are around our careers. So you'll have another online meeting next Wednesday, but you'll also need to complete a time management planning for Unit number 3, which will help you to think again about classes, work, and life events for the week, deadlines that are coming up, and then weekly and daily to-do lists in order of priority, okay? You'll also have a second journal to complete, and there are questions that are going to be different each week in those journals. The most important thing I can say is that sometimes these lists of assignments that are due can get overwhelming and confusing in terms of due date. Remember, you can always visit the syllabus and schedule link on the side, and you can always open the schedule. And when you do that, you'll see a reminder of every assignment in list order and the due date. So I can take a look right here at modules 1, 2, and 3. And because we're working in module 3 right now, I'll talk about this one. Just like in the Blackboard course, there's a list of assignments that are due, and they are all due by the 17th, which is tonight at 11:59 p.m. And then you can see that we met in person today with our student panel from noon to 1. So remember to revisit the course schedule if you're ever confused about what's due when, okay? I know Blackboard can feel a little confusing and things feel like sometimes they're out of order, but if you take a look at the schedule, it really lines things up for you, okay? So just going back to the PowerPoint, just to wrap up, are there any questions that anybody has right now about journal number 1, about the time management planning for learning unit number 2, or about sending out that informational interview email request? And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and unmute your mics. You can self-mute if you want to, but if you'd like to ask questions, you can go ahead and do that without typing in the chat box since our student panel is gone.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Mary Thornton. I got
Hi,
a
Mary.
question. Hi, a question asked for that module 2. I couldn't get on how to type in it to complete that course assessment.
Okay, let me take a look. So you're talking about module 2,
Mm-hmm.
and which assignment are you talking about? This PRE assessment?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a really good question, Mary, and I'm glad you asked. A handful of people have asked me, what are the best ways to complete assignments that are PDFs or like not editable? So Mary, are you talking about being able to just edit it?
Yes, even typing in it, and where do I supposed to send it to you?
Yep, okay, so I'll talk you through this, and then I'll still accept this one late, just because I know that it's the first time we've talked about how to edit some of these PDFs, okay? So what you can do is once you open it, you'll notice that it's opening as a PDF, right?
Uh-huh.
So right now, I can't edit it. I can't do anything to it. You have a few choices. You can print it off if you have access to a printer. If you don't,
Okay.
that's okay. We'll talk about other ways to do it.
Okay.
If you print it off, you can write right on it and, you know, track your scores like that, just pen and pencil, kind of old school. And then you can take a picture and you can send me the picture, either from your phone or by email. You can even text it to me, okay?
Okay. Okay.
If that's not an option, or if you don't have access to a printer, you can actually download this PDF by clicking this little download button in the upper right-hand corner. And you want to open it using that program that I asked you guys to download in module number 1. So you open it using Adobe Reader.
Okay.
And I can walk you through this again anytime. Once you've got it open in this program, now you can actually edit it. There's a toolbar over on the side here, and you can actually click comment, and you can use all these tools at the top to actually write right on the document. So you can do a text box, you can use the pencil, and you can basically just edit now right on top of the document. So let's say for number 1, I said, I control how successful I will be, and I decide I'm gonna put a 7 in there for that one. So now my number is on the page, okay?
Okay.
And I can do that again on every line. And if that feels tedious, you can use the pencil and write the numbers. You can open a comment box and paste that on there. There's lots of different ways you can edit the PDF. Just make sure whatever you do, that once you're done editing it, you save by saying File, Save As. And then it will actually save everything that you've written right on top of the document, and you can submit that to me.
Okay.
So let's say that you do that, and I will save this document to the desktop just for fun. We'll call it Casey.
Okay.
And I'm going to go back to the Blackboard course. And I want to go ahead and submit that assignment now. So I'm going to click right into the assignment, and I'm going to say, browse my computer, and I'm going to go find what we just saved right there.
Okay.
And I'm going to attach it, and then I'm just going to hit submit, and I'll get whatever you edited on my end.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah, if you need help with that or you want me to walk you back through it at any point, you can just give me a call or shoot me an email and we can set up a time to talk.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions about any assignments we've had so far, or anything else at all that you guys want to talk about? Okay. If you do think of any questions, of course, you're welcome to contact me anytime outside of these live meetings by email or text message, by phone, whatever works. I do just want to say that the folks who've attended the live meeting, I've really appreciated your participation this past week. Assignments are coming in on time. Things are looking really good. And I would just encourage you to keep up the good work, because you're right on track. And as long as you keep up with the work and the deadlines, you're going to do great in this class. So good job so far on completing everything. And I know it can be a little overwhelming to dive into an online class, and we don't see each other in person outside of these live meetings. So I just want to commend you for doing a great job through the first week. And as we start unit number 2, just keep up what you've been doing, and we'll get through the next 10 weeks together. So if you think of anything else, or you have questions for after this call that you'd like to ask privately, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, that wraps everything up for us today. And again, I appreciate your participation, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks.